when liberals say body count doesn't matter. If God did not want us to hate people, then why did he create liberals? It's just a joke. Please don't cancel me. Recently, I got into an argument with two friends about body counts. No, I'm not talking about how many players you kill on Fortnite, you nerd. When I say body count, I'm talking about a person's sexual history. Judging by your appearance, I'm guessing the word sexual isn't a term you're familiar with, so I'll explain further. Sexual history is referring to how many times you've touched another person's devil meat. And when devil meat comes into close contact with another person's buns, you create what my mother calls a Satan sandwich. The two friends I was arguing with are both very liberal women. They're so woke, I don't think they even own a bed. You're probably wondering why a conservative man like myself punishes himself by associating with these two vile Democrat voters. I consider it spying on the enemy for the sake of keeping their identities a secret. Let's just call them Becky and Shaquanda. Anyways, my friends insisted that a person's body count does not matter. Becky argued that it's never okay to even ask about a person's body count. What a person did in the past is not important. All that matters is who they are in the present. Plus, she believes that it's 100% okay to lie about your body count. Shaquanda insisted that using body count as a metric to disqualify a person from being considered relationship material is an evil thing to do. Judging someone by their body count means that you're sexually shaming people. And when men care about women's body counts, it's because the man is insecure about his disappointing weenie size or lack of skill in the bedroom. Men are just self-conscious that they can't hide how mediocre they are if women have examples of superior men to compare them with. Of course, I disagreed with everything my friend said. A liberal being correct about anything is like seeing a fat man turn down food. It only happens once every 100 years. Anyways, I made history on the day of that body count argument. I accomplished what was once considered impossible by every medical expert. I successfully cured two liberals of their chronic incorrectness syndrome for a single evening. I'm aware that many of my viewers do not have a degree in medicine, so I'll quickly go over the medical definition for chronic incorrectness syndrome. Basically, it's a brain disease that has infected an estimated 99.9% of liberals. It's what causes them to have such terrible opinions on political issues. Symptoms of this devastating disease includes making the stupid decision to dye your hair blue, purple, or some other strange, unnatural hair color. Number 2, choosing to wear an ugly bullnose ring. They also call it a septum piercing. Number 3, having the uncontrollable urge to complain about absolutely everything. Number 4, being cursed with a brain that perceives anything that you don't like as racist or sexist. Number 5, being a fully grown adult male with a child-sized weenie. Number 6, being an adult female with a Nordic frost giant-sized hoo-ha that frequently gets objects stuck inside of it. Those stuck objects include medium-sized sedan automobiles, large quantities of sand, and adult males that prefer unattractive women. There are hundreds of more symptoms of a liberal's chronic incorrectness syndrome, but the point of this video is not to educate viewers about diseases. I'm going to break down how I managed to actually change two liberal women's minds about the importance of body counts. If you're a conservative, you should be able to use this information to avoid having your life ruined by dating the wrong people. You will also be better equipped to defeat deluded liberals on the internet if the topic of conversation is the importance of people's sexual history. If you're a liberal watching this who's suffering from chronic incorrectness syndrome, this video may provide you with temporary relief from your painful symptoms. First, I'm going to go over the gigantic reason why body count is extremely important. Then I'm going to disprove each argument that liberals commonly make for body counts being unimportant. Okay, let's get started. Imagine you own a business and you're looking to hire a new employee. Then you get on the internet to create a job posting. A couple days go by and you have a ton of people who've applied for your new job. You now have to go through and read all the resume applications to figure out who is the best fit for the job. The people with great resumes move on to the next step of the application process. Now imagine that instead of just a regular company, the business that you are hiring for is your actual life. The title for the job opening that you are hiring for is called a boyfriend or girlfriend, and once you find the right candidate for this role, you may promote them in the future to a position of greater importance called a husband or wife. You're currently deciding which applicants to reject or contact. There are 2 resumes left for you to make a decision about. Let's call resume number 1 the alpha resume. The alpha resume shows an alpha job candidate that has only worked at one company in the past 10 years. A smart employer would interpret this resume as displaying a track record of loyalty. The resume indicates that the candidate was competent enough at their specific job duties for a company to choose to keep them employed for a decade. Also, the resume suggests that the candidate's work ethic at the job is pretty decent to have lasted at one company for 10 years. A lot of people quit or get fired because they cannot get along with their co-workers, so the length of employment on the resume could also indicate that the candidate is easy to deal with or that they have a pleasant personality. Let's call resume number 2 the beta resume. The beta resume shows a beta job candidate that has worked at 100 different companies in the past 10 years. Smart employers view this kind of resume as a red flag. The beta job candidate has a track record of bouncing around from job to job. When compared to the alpha candidate, there clearly is a greater risk for this job candidate to end up wasting your company's time and resources, just like they've done many times in the past. It's a costly pain in the butt to hire and train a new employee just for them to quit or be fired soon afterwards. Why would an employer not prefer the safer option? Also, when compared to the alpha candidate, there's a greater likelihood that the beta candidate has a poor work ethic, since they don't last very long at jobs before they are fired or quit. The beta candidate's resume may suggest that they are difficult to deal with or that they have a bad personality, conflict with co-workers, or an inability to resolve workplace conflict is an extremely common reason for people to quit or be fired from a job. In the real world, no job candidate would ever admit to this if this was a problem that they had. So, if there are less risky options available like the alpha candidate, why would a smart employer gamble their time and resources just to likely have the decision blow up in their face like many of the previous 100 jobs on the beta candidate's resume? If you substitute previous jobs for the number of men and women that a person has been with, you should start to understand why body count is so important. Like the beta job candidate, a person who has slept with many people has a greater likelihood of having certain negative qualities. Number 1, an individual with a high body count has demonstrated a preference for casual hookups, sneaky links, and situationships over long-term, serious relationships. A wise man judges people by their actions, not their words. And a person with a high body count has demonstrated by their actions that they are highly drawn to short-term, casual relationships. Number 2, a person with a high body count could just want to do the opposite of what they have been doing for the majority of their dating history for selfish and petty reasons. High body count individuals that now want relationships and marriage for the wrong reasons have a high likelihood of relapsing and returning to their past behaviors at some point. Some of the most common petty and selfish reasons for wanting long-term relationships and marriage include getting older and noticing a growing decline in the quantity and quality of your available romantic options. Many people want a long-term relationship and marriage just to silence insecurities that they have about themselves and their own desirability. Many people want marriage because they've mismanaged their youth and their fertility window is quickly closing, but they don't want the stigma of having a child out of wedlock. Many people want marriage for the social status that the title provides. Many people want a long-term relationship and marriage to satisfy social pressures from family, friends, and society. Many people want to get married just to acquire a new parental figure for the children that they had with other people. Many people want a long-term relationship and marriage just to attain financial assistance from another person. There is no way for you to know if an individual with a high body count only wants to divert from their past behaviors and seek a long-term relationship or marriage for one of these high failure rate, petty, and selfish reasons. This makes attempting to enter into a long-term relationship with a high body count person a much riskier decision. Number 3. A person with a high body count has more likely spent the majority of their dating life engaging in casual hookups, cheating, and situationships. If that's the case, then they have spent relatively little time building long-term relationship experience and skills. A person with little to no experience and skills doing any activity is more likely to be bad at it and fail. Number 4. Some people have high body counts because they are not able to attain and maintain a long-term relationship. This is a red flag, and you should want to know the reason why they have this problem. However, most people lack self-awareness or refuse to reveal their flaws to potential romantic partners because they fear getting dumped. The most common causes for people's inability to attain and maintain a relationship include having unrealistic standards, demands, or expectations of romantic partners. They may be ineffective communicators. They may not have the motivation or work ethic necessary to make sacrifices and do the unpleasant work required to maintain a healthy relationship. They may be difficult to deal with or have a personality that rubs people the wrong way. They may be immature or a bad decision maker that selects potential partners for superficial reasons, in spite of the potential partner being dysfunctional or the potential partner displaying signs of not genuinely reciprocating interest. For these reasons, it's clear that attempting to enter into a long-term relationship with a high body count person is a much riskier decision. On a side note, if you're a conservative listening to this rock-solid logic, you're probably nodding your head in agreement to what I'm saying. If you're a liberal, you're likely convulsing or violently shaking right now as your chronic incorrectness syndrome causes your body to reject common sense or good ideas. My apologies, liberals, for not giving you a medical warning at the start of the video. It's time to address the common arguments made by liberals in favor of high body counts. Argument number 1, if you are single and not cheating on anybody, then there's nothing wrong with a person having slept around a lot. I take a steaming, greasy poop on that argument by explaining to liberals that the main issue with high body counts does not boil down to whether their past actions were right or wrong. The issue is that there are better and safer options available when your goal is a healthy long-term relationship. We all have the right to choose a lower-risk dating option who, for example, has only been with one romantic partner their entire life and stuck with them for 10 years. Dumb liberal argument number 2. Caring about or judging a woman by her body count means that you hate women. I shut down that argument like an overheating laptop by explaining to liberals that when a man is looking for a long-term relationship, the best option is a woman whose dating history demonstrates that she prefers and is built for long-term relationships. A woman with a past primarily filled with casual hookups and situationships does not demonstrate this. Actions speak louder than words. We have the right to give more weight to a woman's actions than the words coming out of her mouth. Stupid liberal argument number 3. Asking a person about their body count means that you are sexually shaming them. I karate chop that pathetic argument by explaining that unless you have mind-reading superpowers, then you do not know what a person's intent is for asking a question. Liberal argument number 4 is the most wicked of them all. They like to say that a man who cares about body count is just insecure, that a woman will compare him to past partners and realize that he has a small weenie or unimpressive bedroom skills. Liberals say this just to insult men and change the focus of the conversation. I put this liberal deflection tactic in a chokehold by staying on the original topic and explaining why it's beneficial to seek long-term relationships with people that have more experience maintaining long-term relationships. You don't call an electrician to fix your plumbing. Lame liberal argument number 5. Who a person is now at this moment is all that matters. Their past should be completely irrelevant. I drop-kick this dumb argument by pointing out that past experiences and actions shape who we all are in the present. On a side note, the president of Russia told me that he's putting together a plan to assassinate your family if you do not subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be a hero and click that subscribe button to protect your loved ones.